The Frontenacs' very own Gage Heyes just recorded his very first career hat trick. This adds to the Frontenacs' stellar start to the season as they hunt down the divisional title.
Frontenacs battling again, they score! Popped right out front onto the stick of Gage Heyes, and that is the hat trick goal.
What really got you into hockey? Like, what was the main starting point for you?
It's kind of ran in the family a bit, and then my older brother played, and I guess like my parents just put me in skates when I was really young, and then I was pretty good or whatever, just kept playing, and it just kind of snowballed. Like, it just kind of happened more like parents, yeah, they grew up in hockey families, so they probably just put me in skates to see if I liked it. And that's how that went.
Was there a certain point when you were just there out on the ice and like, okay, let's see where this can go?
Yeah, like it's hard to remember like everything when you're little, but like there's a couple times where you realize like, okay, there's actually potential in this, like, which is a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, especially as an overager, like as you come into playing with the Frontenacs.
Yeah.
Have you seen yourself shift into more of that mentor role where you see all these younger guys coming in, you're like, okay, how can I go and fit into a leader for them?
Yeah, being a leader, like, that's obviously something everybody dreams about, and like that's something that I came into this year like hoping I was gonna have and be put in that role. So yeah, I've been here for 4 years, and like I've noticed, like I've always kept tabs on everybody, and all the old overagers that I've seen come and go, like they're all the same, and they're all like good people, and they're always like someone that you can like talk to, like even if you like different things or something, like they're always just a person that you can go talk to, and that's something I've wanted to definitely step into this year, and it's pretty fun, you know, being that guy. It's kind of a good feeling, you know, knowing that people can come to you and feel safe and like respected to come like open up to you or whatever it is, or whatever I can do to help whoever.
What's the vibe been on the team this year? It seems like it's been a pretty fun start, and it's continuously ramping up.
Yeah.
Are you seeing yourselves seeing these next steps, these goals, and it's a big collective effort to reach them, or?
Yeah, well, we set a goal at the start of the year, and that's to you obviously want to win your conference, but I think winning our division is a super big you know, accomplishment that we can get, and I think it's super reasonable. I think we have the team to do it. Like you said, it's been a fun start to the year, but things start to catch up on you. So you think you're in your first couple weeks, you got so much time to go, and then like bam, it's almost December and deadlines coming up, and you got things to do, and you just got to keep an eye on how fast it comes up. But I think our first start to the season has been pretty well. I just think, yeah, we're going to keep going and keep working towards our goal as being winning that division title.
Speaking of big starts, we have you obtaining I believe that was your first hat trick.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Take me through each goal.
The first shift we had there was a super big piece of ours that we talked about, is having a good start. And that's something we talk about every game, but I think it was super important that game to have a really good start, and we did, and we came out strong. The first line that started had a super good shift, and like I just felt something that game. Like it was just I don't know, it all felt like natural and whatever, and then we had that shift, and that puck came right to me in the first rebound, and it was pretty nice to put that one away, and then just whatever 30 seconds later, whatever it was pretty cool to have. I just put that shot on net, and it found itself in the back of the net, so it's pretty cool to get that. And then yeah, I kept telling myself I'm gonna get it, it's gonna happen, and the second period went through, nothing really happened, and then the third period, like it was just my luck that night, and that puck just found itself and through the legs, and it was a little bit of a bobble play, but I'll definitely take it.
Hockey gods are in your favor. You can't complain.
Exactly.
Was there any little sense of doubt, or was that dedication where you stepped on the ice, even come that third period, you're like, I'm gonna get this. I know I can get this. Did anyone on the team even go and start hyping you up, saying you can get this? Yeah,
the guys were always like in between the periods and stuff. They're like, it's hard to say you're gonna get it. You don't want to jinx a guy, or you don't want to say the wrong thing or get them in their head or whatever. But I think everyone was kind of rooting for me and was in my corner on that one. Yeah, it was something special to to share with a bunch of with all those guys. They're a good group of guys, and I could tell that they respected it and they were happy for me. So it was nice to see.
Another element of the game that I want to talk about is the physical aspect. And we see that a lot of guys are loving to throw their body around. How do you see yourself fitting into that physical element and being able to balance if you have anyone, an instigator, even on the other side? Is there a level of keeping a cool level-headed and knowing when to jump in?
Yeah, it's always been part of my game to work hard and be physical and forecheck hard. That's always been a part of me, and that's just in my DNA. So I think I've learned to, stay composed, and I've gone through like times where I wasn't composed, and that's just things that I've learned from. And I think that kind of comes with age and experience, being able to compose yourself. And we run into it a lot with stupid penalties and stuff like that, and every team does, but it's something that I think everyone just has to learn from. And like, it's gonna happen. Like, no one's perfect. Everyone's gonna make mistakes out there.
When we go and talk about a lot of the fans we have here, you get a really young environment sometimes. We had a lot of the school games, but you also have those young fans that are looking out onto the ice, seeing you play, seeing you score those goals, the way you maneuver and position yourself on the ice, and they say, I want to be just like him. If you had a young fan that was going and looking at your play and they wanted to replicate it, what would be your number one tip to them be?
I'd say just to enjoy the ride. Don't expect anything to be easy, and it's obviously like nothing's ever going to get handed to you. And from my experience, at least, something that's always kept me going is just it is what it is, like kind of mentality. And you got to have that bite. But if something happens, you can't get all down on yourself, and you can't be whining. Like, it's just stuff like that. You got to remind yourself that everything happens for a reason, and things will all come around at one point. And just keeping your head down and being able to get through adversity and little things. It's all stuff that you're going to take with life, and that's the biggest thing for me is learning and getting that experience. So that's something I'd say. But like you said, it's pretty cool to have like people like that, like fans like that look up to you and want to be you in a way. And it's something you don't really think of until it's put in your head that you have a big impact on a lot of people. So that's what I would kind of say to them.
Glad you mentioned impacts. Is there one person or a few people that come to mind that really made that impact on you and got you to that next step, or gave you that little piece of advice that really set you apart?
Yeah, my mom and dad, that's where I get that mentality, is they never made anything easy for me, and it's I had to learn and all this stuff, and I'd say they hold the biggest role in who I am now, for sure. I know it's a cliche answer, but it definitely, my dad always told me that it's never going to be simple. You're never going to get handed it out. You're going to have to work hard, and that's just something I've taken with me up until this point, and I think I always will. Everything happens for a reason as well. That's something that they've always drilled in my head. So, like I said, if a demotion happens or something happens, it'll all work out, and there's reasons for everything.
Keep on pushing through. That's a very strong mentality to have, and one that's very apparent in your game with the way you're able to progress it.
Yeah.
Just as a bit of a closing remark here, as we continue to push towards the season, you said you want to be atop the division. Do you have any personal goals you're working towards?
I've set personal goals at the start of the year. Try not to look too far into points and stuff. Obviously, the biggest thing for me is winning, but ultimately, I'm in my overager year, and this is where I want to be, and this is a spot that I want to hold, and I have to produce. I have to take the opportunity that's given to me and do well with it. That's kind of where my mind goes, to just leave it all out there, no regrets, and so I've set some personal goals to just get new, higher points or whatever, and if I'm playing on a first line, I have to be able to do that. That's part of it's just how it is, especially for a team that, like I said, wants to win a division title or an OHL championship. So that's something I'm leaning on.
Very well said. Thank you very much for your time, man.
Thank
It
you
was
so
awesome.
much.